A very good morning, students. Today I am going to continue with the same chapter, that is chapter 6, Animal Classification of Science 2, Standard 10th. In today's lecture, we are going to study phylum Echinodermata, phylum Hemichordata, phylum Chordata, subphylum Urochordata, subphylum Vertebrata or Craniata, etc. Now, let us recall what we have studied in our previous lecture. In our previous lecture, we have studied phylum Escalmanthus, phylum Annelida, phylum Arthropoda, phylum Mollusca, etc. I would like to inform you, children, that the content of this lecture, which are omitted due to COVID-19 problem, that content I will cancel here. So you also have to note down. Now, let us start our lecture. We are starting today, children, with the phylum Echinodermata in animal classification. So, first of all, you see the example of this Echinodermata, which type of organism you are going to study. Now, here, first organism you can see, that is starfish. Second one is sea cucumber. Third one is sea urchin. So these all organism we are going to study their characteristic in this chapter. So now let us see now the characteristic of this animal. We are starting with the phylum Echinodermata. Now, first characteristic is that calcareous. First of all, I will tell you the meaning of Echinodermata. Echinos mean spines like, and dermata mean where the derm or the skin is having the spicules or spine like structure. Now, first characteristic is that calcareous spines are present on the body of this animal. So, calcareous mean these are made up of calcium carbonate. That is why these spines are called as the calcareous spine. So these are present on the body of this animal. That is why they are called as the echinoderms. So this is the first characteristic of this echinoderm. Now, what is the second characteristic, children? That these animals are present in the ocean, or that means they are marine animal. So this is second characteristic. So first point you have to remember that they are having the calcareous spine are present on the body. So this is important point. That is why they are called as echinoderm. Now second point is that these animals are found in ocean. Ocean mean marine animal. Their body is triploblastic. Triploblastic mean made up of three layer. Eucoelomate mean true cavity, and they are having the radial symmetry. What is the meaning of radial symmetry? That means a basic body plane in which the organism can be divided into similar halves by passing a plane at any angle along the central axis. So here at these five arms it is having like a starfish. So we can cut along the central axis, we will get the equal half. Now eucoelomatic mean true cavity they are having. Triploblastic mean their their skin is, their body is made up of three layers: ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. Now, in larval stage, that means when they are very minute in the early just growing stage, that time they are having the bilateral symmetry. Which symmetry, children? They are having bilateral symmetry. So that point also you have to learn. that in larval stage they are having bilateral symmetry, while in the adult stage they are having the radial symmetry. Next point, they perform locomotion with the help of tube feet. Tube feet mean, if we will see their arms, they are having a small structures, tubular structure. These are called as tube feet. These tube feet are for the capturing prey. Some animals are sedentary. Sedentary mean they are just attached to the substratum or some rocks. So this point you have to learn that some animals are sedentary. Next, they have skeleton which is made up of calcareous spine. Which type of skeleton they are having? That this skeleton is made up of calcareous spine. That means this spine are made up of calcium carbonate, and that is exoskeleton. And sometimes endoskeleton in the form of some plates like structure inside the arms. So this is called the ossicles. Now next, these animals have good ability of regeneration. Regeneration means if their arm is cut again and again, it is formed again. So this property is called as regeneration. These animals are mostly unisexual. Unisexual means the male and female organism are having male or female reproductive organ are in different organism. What are example? Starfish, sea urchin, brittle star, sea cucumber, etc. So this is the uh, about the echinoderms. Now let us see, here already I have shown the figure, starfish, sea cucumber and sea urchin. So these are the example of the Echinodermata phylum. This part is cancelled out for you. Now let us start with the phylum Hemichordata. So next phylum is, children, Hemichordata. Next phylum is Hemichordata. First, body of this animal is divided into three parts. Which are three parts, children? These parts are called as the proboscis, collar and trunk. The upper part, that is called the proboscis, and the next part next to proboscis is collar region, that is very small region, and the last full part is known as the trunk. Now why they are called as hemichordate? Because the notochord or the supporting rod is present in the only proboscis region. That is why they are called as hemichordate. That means notochord is in the only half part. Hemi mean half. Now next point. So this point you have to learn why they are called as hemichordate, children. First thing you have to learn this, that their body is divided into three parts: proboscis, collar and trunk. Next is that their notochord is present in the proboscis region only, and hence they are called as hemichordates. This is next point. Now these animals are called as the acorn animals. So acorn animal mean acorn worms mean they are burrowing worms. That means with the help of the upper part, that is proboscis, in that the notochord or supporting rod is there, with the help of that they are burrowing. So that is why they are burrowing marine animals of shallow water. Now next fourth is, so this also you have to learn that why they are called as acorn animals. Now the next characteristic is these are marine animals and they live what one tunnel like or the burrow they make in the sand. Next, they have 1 to many pharyngeal gill slits. In the embryonic stage, children, when the formation of the child is taking place, that time two stages are there. that first is the embryonic stage and afterwards they grow into child. So in the larval stage or the embryonic stage, that time the pharyngeal slits are present. These are in the sides of the pharynx. Some slits are there, that is why they are called as the pharyngeal gill slits. So this point also you have to learn, that the pharyngeal gill slits are present here. They are unisexual or some may be hermaphrodite. That meaning, unisexual mean the male and female reproductive organs are present in the different organism. That mean male is different and female is different. And sometimes they are hermaphrodite. That means both the male and female reproductive organ are present in the same organism. So the example of these are balanoglossus, sarcoglossus, etc. So this is all about the hemichordates. Now let us see through the viewpoint of the evolution, the balanoglossus is considered as a connecting link between the non-chordate and chordates, because these animals show the characteristic of both the groups. So this point you have to learn, children, that balanoglossus are considered as the connecting link. Balanoglossus are considered as connecting link between the non-chordates and chordates. Next, we will start with the phylum Chordata. So the meaning of phylum Chordata, that means they are chordate animal. These animals are supporting notochord in the body. That means all over it is. All chordates are included in the same phylum. The phylum Chordata is classified further into three subphyla. Which are three subphyla? First is Urochordata, second Cephalochordata, and third is Vertebrata craniata. Let us see now. These animals have the supporting notochord in the body. Now, what is their characteristic? First, notochord is present in body during at least any developmental stage. That is the first point that you have to underline. Second, pharyngeal gill slits are present in the body during at least any developmental stage. So this also you have to underline. Now, the next point is that the tubular spinal cord is present on dorsal side of the body. Dorsal side mean our back side, like our back side is there, that is called the dorsal side. So this single tubular spine is present on dorsal side of the body. So this point you have to learn. Now the next point we will see, children, that heart is present on the ventral side. Ventral side means that when like our heart is there, our heart is also present in the ventral side. So our front side is called as the ventral side and the back side is called as the dorsal side. So heart is